I think I should.
Let me tell you about old people, Leah. Let me tell you about old people. See, what we like is Instagram, okay? What we like is Instagram. That shit be real easy on the gram, but yet it's real complicated, complex on the TikTok, okay? But we got it. So we got it going.
I am screaming. Hold on, not me still sitting up here watching Housewives.
But you look good. You look good.
I did a face mask just for you. I said, not at 10 o'clock. They're not going to catch me out here. Are you frozen?
Wow.
Is it me? Am I the drama?
It's probably me. I'm in my basement in the big red chair. So, the basement, the basement be real sketchy with the internet and the Wi-Fi. I have a booster here, but I'm going to get a new booster that I saw advertised on one of those steals and deals. It may have been it wasn't Wendy Williams steals and deals. We hope that Sherry Shepherd is trying to steal the deal from Wendy Williams.
They were supposed to give it to her when she passed out the first time. Sherry Shepherd eats them up on Wendy Williams every time. Every time. Is it you in the big red chair?
So, Lee, yeah. I had lost you, but now it's back.
Okay. There we go.
We got it. Mine says good connection. You got a good connection over there?
Mine says good connection. And
quit playing TikTok. Quit playing. It's because TikTok sees two black people together, and it's like,
It's like freaking out
about something.
They said the revolution finna be televised. Cut them off.
Take them out. So, Leah, you're saying that Wendy replacement for Wendy.
I think you said Sherry Shepherd because you started breaking up again, but I think Sherry Shepherd is a great replacement for Wendy. And not even just because replace a black woman with a black woman. I think she does a good job. And I liked her on The View. I miss her younger perspective, even though she's not a young person,
Who else could replace Wendy Williams? And we're talking about Wendy Williams. If you don't know what's happening, Wendy Williams is reportedly wheelchair bound with early onset dementia, possibly because of lymphedema. Some say it's possibly due to repeated use of drug abuse. But nonetheless, it seems as though Wendy is going to serve a longer time than what the network may have anticipated. Who else could replace her?
I see now Nick Cannon has his own show, but I did like Nick Cannon when Wendy was sick the first time. He was good there. His talk show was a little dry, a little meh for me. Not really all the way into it. I'm always rooting for everyone black, but it's not giving just yet. But past that, us. Baby, come back.
It's probably, Leah. Clear, Terry Brown. Terry Brown, can you see me?
I can see you clearly now. I'm back.
Okay, good. So listen. So I don't want to do what, let me tell you something. Here's a little secret. I don't like Wendy Williams. Never have. Number one, let me give you the breakdown. Number one, Wendy Williams comes on television at the same time as The View. Mm-hmm. And I'm a loyal, faithful, old school View watcher. But again, Leah, that's the difference between my generation and your generation. Old school versus new school. I prefer The View. Even though today Whoopi Goldberg was real disrespectfully dressed in her hoodie. But I understand COVID weight is real for a lot of people, so I give her some grace. Now, in regards to Wendy Williams,
I'm an old school View head though. I've seen every episode. I'm the View down, but in Jersey, Wendy is on at 10 and The View is on at 11. So I don't.
So you can watch both. Atlanta, they both come on at 11 o'clock. Wendy Williams has built her whole entire career around tearing down Black celebrity. And that's what I don't like. It would be different if Wendy Williams was equal opportunity from the beginning of her career, and she would have built a career on celebrity in general, but that wasn't her audience and that wasn't who she tore down. So it's hard for me to get behind her and forgive her for all the damage that she's done to so many people. And unfortunately, as I see her current state, I can't help but think to myself, you shouldn't mess with Tabitha Brown, because the TikTok hoodoo community over here is real strong. And they done put some roots on you, some of them good vegan roots, and some of those like spicy Tabitha. They got
the
you, girl.
sunshine seasoning.
They got you, boo.
I'm a Southside girl to the death of me, but I'm a Jersey girl first and foremost. And so I grew up maybe inappropriately listening to Wendy Williams on the radio and like car rides home. So Wendy Williams is really integrated into my childhood before she ever had the daytime TV show. And I said this morning on Housewives and Chit Chat, I don't like that Wendy Williams will dig. She'll nosedive into everybody's personal business, but she won't let you into hers. And that's where Wendy loses me. She loses me on the talking about people. She goes too far, and I cannot deny that ever. But she doesn't, it's not a tit for tat for her. It's only a constant tit. And it's like, now, sis, hold on, because if you gonna go into my personal drama, then we gonna have to go into Kevin and your lymphedema and all the everythings, because you did it first.
That's right.
And
that's right. She did it first.
She always does it first.
So it's unfortunate. So okay, now let's go. So because I got a list of topics. I got a list of news topics. But I know you got a list of hardcore reality TV topics. So, and if you guys don't follow, so how do I say this? Big G.A. Vale?
Big Avell, because my first name is Leah.
Big Avell. If you don't follow Big Avell, you ain't following the right one. Let me tell you, there are a whole lot of people on this app talking about reality TV. And some of them do a great job. Some of them do a great job, but some of them don't. Now, I will tell you, Leah, I'm sorry, Big Avell, let me tell you, Big Avell, my favorite people on the app doing reality TV, it's a few, so I got to go through. I need to really make a whole, a special TikTok of these are the big dogs. These are the number one people to follow around reality TV. But a lot of them I'm also seeing come across, they don't do as good as you, nowhere near. So you are the account to watch. You are the account to follow. You are the account to grow. What's on your docket? And then I pulled up my docket right here. You go, so we can go topic by topic, and you can take the first one. What we talking about?
Okay, so I know you into the news, and I feel like we had to just real quick circle back to the news about Brian Laundrie and Mr. Kyle Rittenhouse. So I knew we had to circle back there. But also, first and foremost, I want to talk about the platform that we as consumers give people. Okay. Jen Shaw filming after being arrested, and especially for what she was accused of. Nene shutting down Swag Boutique, not telling her employees, denying them unemployment, and then first of all, leaving them on red. Because don't open my text message. Turn your red receipts off. Read it, turn your red receipts off. Don't let me know that you know that this one lady is losing her house. And so
it's cruel.
It's real cruel. And I think we as consumers sometimes forget the power that we have. We've put these people on these pedestals, and we can bring them on down. I don't feel like there needs to be any talk about her getting impeached, anything. Jen Shaw, no talk of season 3 until we get to the bottom of stuff.
No talk of Jen Shaw getting a snowflake or whatever they give them in Salt Lake City.
A snow boot, a snow sled, a fur coat, and nothing. Until you explain yourself for having them poor little boys being marched out on that Ring camera, because it could have so easily went the wrong way because you wanted to sell somebody private information.
That's correct. You know, you hit a good point. Several good topics. So I think going back to Brian Laundrie, you know, his autopsy, died by suicide. I think we already knew that was going to be the case. We knew that was going to happen. Unfortunate. I wish that perhaps the loved ones of his girlfriend he murdered. I forgot her name. I didn't pay that much attention. It's a whole lot of people of color being killed, raped, murdered, thrown away that I didn't even pay attention too much to that story. But I will say that I wish that the families could have seen the red flags and been able to really intervene and really be able to, you know, maybe avoid that. In regards to Kyle Rittenhouse, that was a really interesting turn of events for him to say that he supports Black Lives Matter. It was the right thing for him to do or to attempt to do, but of course, no one with half a brain believes it. We saw you, bruh. We saw you,
Like,
bruh, throwing up white
being...
power signs. We have it. It's in whole 4K. Okay, it's in whole 4K. We got the evidence. You cannot turn it now and try to fix your reputation. And I think it's smart. I think it's wise that he's doing so. It's good advice. It's good counsel. It's good PR, even though he is upsetting the people that would make him a multimillionaire. You know, the alt-right who's ready to support him and make him a hero.
And give him everything.
You know, but he's looking at having a life, a future beyond that. You know, and I applaud him for that. But nonetheless, we don't buy it. We don't buy it. We know you ain't supporting no BLM. You're a murderer.
Like, because there was nothing that needed that. I don't care what your political views are. I don't care. Just nothing. You pulled out an assault, right? Like, what?
Correct.
Just there's really nothing to talk about. I understand the judicial system, obviously, you know what I mean, but like, you guilty. Like, I don't.
Yeah, you're guilty. And when it comes, and people want to talk about, and people want to say, because it's really important to talk about, and for those watching, definitely give some commentary, give us your thoughts. You know, people want to talk about it. People want to say, what is it that can be done? The reality is this judge absolutely exercised his judicial power to sway the audience or his jury. And the key is still, it always goes back to voting. And not only voting, but holding those that we elect accountable. Here's the catch, right? Here is the caveat to it. How you doing, Malik? Here's the caveat, is that not only do that we vote, not only do we hold them accountable, but what we also must do is really push for the right things on the agenda. This goes back to Joe Biden. Joe Biden put all of his eggs in the infrastructure basket. We're going to have a saved American economy because of the infrastructure bill that was passed. We are. Mm-hmm. We are going to.
Okay. Is it me? Am I the drama? Let me see. Add host. Invite.
That is not where, in my opinion, Leah, the effort should have gone. The real efforts should have gone to not ensuring that people are going to have jobs in 2023, but ensuring that people have the right to vote in 2023. Joe Biden and congressional Democrats failed to pass voting rights reform. And because they did not reform the voting system, you have gerrymandering happening all across America that will keep Republicans in power at the state level for the next 10 years. And because of that, they are going to then be able to vote or to elect false presidents like Donald Trump when he contests and says that fraud happened when it didn't happen. And that was a failure on the part of the Biden administration and on the part of the Democrats. And that goes back to the situation with Kyle Rittenhouse, because that judge has served multiple terms and has never had anyone run against him. But now, if someone runs against him, it's going to be gerrymandered in a way that they can invalidate those actual votes.
100%. I think it goes back to us as people of color not really understanding the power that we have in this economy and in any form of voting arena. But also it goes back to me, how out of touch our Democrats, even though these are the people who match more of our pockets and the way our real life goes, and to some degree they talk more of the talk that we like to talk, but they're very much still not in touch with the Black community and very unsure of what the Black community will do, because you want to get some Black people to go outside and vote, right? If that's really your only agenda, why not be truthful and tell us and say, hey, like the US Census says by 2040, Black people will be the majority, and your Republican opponents, they know that, and thus they're putting people in place so that in 2040, when you are now the majority, something that you think you've been pushing for, you still have no voting rights. And all anybody, generally speaking, of color can see is, oh, but Trump isn't president anymore. And it's like, we're past that.
You're right. And here's the thing. And so Malik sent us a rose. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Malik.
Now, here's the thing. It's not that Black people are going to be the majority. We ain't going to be no majority. It's going to be people of color. And so Black, Hispanic, Latino, and our Asian American Pacific Islanders, they, as a collective, we will be the majority. Right. And we're actually kind of already there in some key demographic areas. So that's true. And members of the LGBTQI plus community also will be the majority of people. So the majority of people who are considered Gen Z, 52% of people in Gen Z identify as a part of that community. So the thing is, Republicans are, if Democrats would have done things right, they would not be able to do what they're doing, but Democrats didn't do it. And it's exactly as user 963389333 said, they talk the talk,
read it all,
but they don't do anything once they're in office. Joe Biden is, he's still, this old Democrats like Joe Biden are still trying to court independents and conservatives, trying to get them to vote Democrat. Like that's going to be
over. And it's like, sir, let it go.
It's over. Go. There's when people who believed that Donald Trump, who voted for Trump, who wanted to put, they're not going to vote for a Democrat. And Democrats they've wasted their time. And it's too late now because you can't turn the tide. Young voters have been turned off. Black voters have been turned off. And it's not possible to fix this. The Democrats are done for 2022. We're going to lose control of the Senate. We are going to lose control of the House of Representatives. And we are going to see a vastly different America because of the failure of the Biden administration to make the right decisions and put the right priorities in place to secure a better future for America, which could have been done easily if they would have first focused on voting reform instead of focusing on the infrastructure bill. Because those jobs are going to come, but they're not going to come until a Republican is president.
Right. And then they're going to seemingly take credit for it. So what do you think? That's like, right. Okay, we get to 2022. Four Doors and some horror 72 said amen to what you said. But what do you think we do past that? 2022 happens, we lose control.
You want me to give you the sad truth, the sad fact of the matter?
Yeah.
We have to live for ourselves and take care of ourselves. And let me explain what that means. I live, of course, in Atlanta. And you follow my social media, so you know I put a lot of energy around local candidates in the city. And I put a lot of focus on helping progressives in Atlanta get elected, and they all lost. My candidates did not win. The progressives that I was supporting, they didn't win. They didn't make it because but I was able to learn a lot from that. So I'm going to continue to work with different candidates. I'm going to continue to invest in people. I'm going to continue to fight for people who I believe in because they can affect the local. I can't worry about the future. I can only focus on the local, and that is where I am. And so Ball Truck 28, who is on the who is going to get blocked very shortly, said, "Bro, look at you, look at your eye bags run on. You need sleep. You don't know what you're talking about. Crying emoji." Ball Truck, you clearly don't know who I am. I have looked like this my whole life. These bags are hereditary. Tell it to my daddy, who has the same bags. Okay.
Now, but thank you for taking the time to increase our analytics by typing on this here screen. Clearly, you love something about it, and we love you for it.
Ball Truck like the way I look. You know, I know how y'all are. I know y'all like this. I know you like it. Now, Leah, you were also when you talked about. I want to go back to your homegirl, Lanithia.
Well, let me say this before we jump back to Lanithia. I completely agree. Bash's uncle ran local level. I wholeheartedly believe in local level politics. He was a former councilman for a ward here in Newark, New Jersey. My mother-in-law was his chief of staff. They did not win re-election, but they were able to, like you said, learn some things. And the uncle, former councilman, now runs a kids coding program in Newark, New Jersey, which, if you know anything, is one of, more inner city. And they're teaching young Black boys and girls how to code and how to take hold. And so they're partnering with people like Google and Facebook. And so honestly, local level politics, like, I think as Black people, that's where we forget to vote. We normally do presidential and then maybe a little Senate, but we never make it down to people who have longer terms, people who actually affect change in and on the blocks that we walk. And it just don't work that way.
And again, in Atlanta, I want to say, I know our election for mayor was one of the lowest turnouts in history. It was extremely low. And so that right there to me speaks to how people how they don't care about local elections, although your mayor of a city like Atlanta has way more impact on your life when compared to your president, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the thing that I definitely liked about Keisha Lance Bottoms' team was that she kept people around her that I personally know had their feet on the ground, like people like China Wilson, people like Malik, like these people,
right.
Angela Hinton, who was out there. Like, I'm blessed to know some of these people that I consider like really, they move the needle forward, needle pushers. And so I know that she kept people like that around her. And I think personally that speaks to the type of leader that she was.
I'm a fan. I've always been a fan of Keisha, and will stay a fan of Keisha. Now, but
Be the Harbinger said, people don't believe in the system, so they don't participate in things they don't feel serve them, because we're not being spoken to.
That's right, and that needs to change. And I don't know, again, and that's a real issue that the Democratic Party has. And I don't just blame Biden. I also blame Jamie Harrison, who is over the DNC. Jamie Harrison, who ran for senator in South Carolina. They hired him, gave him his job. He's doing a horrible job. He's doing one of the worst jobs I've ever seen in that position. And I say that because the Democratic message is not clear to people. The Democratic message, people don't know what they're achieving, what they've done. They're doing all this work, but if no one knows about the work, it's going to have no impact on the American people. And they're going to see things happen, and they're not going to realize these good things are happening because of these bills that were passed and this work that was done by this administration. So I blame them, I blame them for that.
They do a horrible job at rolling out all of their packages. Even Kamala, before she was on the ticket, when she rolled out her package of dumping, I forget the number now, but the millions of dollars into the school system, and everybody was like, oh, she's going to make the school day longer, blah, blah. When actually it was this really good bill that was going to serve as a tester to give these after school programs for these parents who don't get off at 3:30, who now have to pick up extra shifts and stay even longer because now they have to pay to afford childcare.
Right. And people desperately need that as this economy continues to rebound, but inflation goes up as the economy is going up. People don't even see how the two things are connected. But again, the Democrats aren't doing a good job of making that known to people, and the help that's going to come and how that help is being created through legislation. No one knows about it. But again, Lanithia.
Yes.
So Lanithia Leaks has Swag Boutique in Baltimore, and it just shut down.
They came in, child, like thieves in the night, cleaned out the store, took all the stuff. These employees of hers came to work the next day and the doors was locked and the store was empty, which means, because if you left from work thinking that you had to come back the next day, that means you came in honestly in the middle of the night. They said she was not in contact with unemployment, and that's why the former employees couldn't receive unemployment. And then they said she's just quite literally ignoring them, not answering the phone.
In Baltimore. So
in Baltimore.
I tried to Google. It opened up in 2019 in National Harbor, Maryland. And so it just happened recently. What's really messed up about this is that this happened right as we are approaching the holidays. So you did not pay these employees as we are approaching Thanksgiving in a city that has a large level of minority poverty, okay? Baltimore, Maryland. And you aren't paying these employees, you shut the building down out of nowhere and you're not giving any answers for it. But not only that, you're avoiding filing the appropriate paperwork so people can get unemployment that they're due. It is.
And now the store manager has an eviction notice on her apartment. Which is the only reason she turned to social media, because also understand this, that these people weren't even going to take it to TMZ. We're not talking about clout chasers. We're talking about people who actually tried to go to the source, tried to go to the boss, tried to follow the chains of command, were ignored. And now we're at a place where the roof over my head is in jeopardy, and you don't even have the decency to answer my phone call and say, girl, fuck you.
And, I just looked it up. So, one, I didn't know that Lanithia's store in Atlanta was closed. Yes. So, her boutique, so Swag in Atlanta closed down.
Yes.
And I'm
so
looking
this was
for
the only one.
I'm looking now, and again, you know where the clothes came from, right? They came from America's Mart. You know where America's Mart is in Atlanta? Downtown, where you have the big America's Mart, and they get a lot of shipments in from, China, and they're just like basic jeans. But Lanithia would go, no, really, I'm serious. People who I know, who go there, said they will often see like her, Nene herself buying up the stuff. Then they would take the clothes and then enhance them, and then they would sell them in Swag Boutique. But a lot of people do that. There are several boutiques in Phipps Plaza. They do the exact same, get the same clothes for like $2 jeans, and then they're $80, $120 jeans in the boutique.
But that's what I was gonna say. I don't knock the hustle. Get yours however you got to get yours. Minus the scamming. Legally get yours. But the thing that gets me is these housewives specifically do all of these, buying them for $2, white label in terms of Skims for Kim Kardashian, all of this, but then we perpetrate like we sell the Erica Jane lifestyle while wearing press-on nails. Like, you know what I mean? In clothes that were donated to us so that we could wear them on camera. And we just don't talk about that part. Forcing millions of viewers to run out and buy Fendi and Hermes bags and all of that because you're doing it. And then you got people like Karen getting busted with fake Fendis and Dorit getting red flagged at stores. It's like red flagged also though because she's reselling them on clothing apps.
Wait, now who Dorit is doing that?
Yes.
So Malik said that's awful. Literary love for 20 joints. So I don't know if literary love is like a love of literature or if literary love is like a love of marijuana, but I'm glad that you're here. So now Bigger Veil, tell me this. So why was she getting red? What does that mean? What would Dorit?
Okay. So red flagged, and this is a very rich people problem. I don't have this, but you get red flagged, and it's pretty much like the no-fly list at these stores. Hermes, Louis, Bloomy has their list, all of it, okay? And so people get red flagged for different reasons. Dorit, though, was purchasing
And that means you
clothes.
can't come in the store.
That means they don't want it. You can come in and shop, but they don't want your money. Like literally, you can come in, they'll let you try the stuff on, buy, they will not let you. Yes.
Why? So why?
So she was purchasing clothes, or okay, so what she was doing was, you have your stylist, you come in, they pull the clothes, you are responsible for 10 to 20% depending on where the store is. So you come in, you get your $100,000 worth of clothes, but then you're only responsible for 10 to 20 depending on the store of that. So what happens is you get a whole line of clothes, you bring whatever back, you buy 20% of it. She takes those clothes that she got on the discount, the 20%, and then resells them. Like, oh, Dorit, Kimberly, Louis bag, da da da. And she's getting more than what she ever even paid for it because she got it on discount, red listed. I think I said labeled.
Wow. Wow. No, yeah. Oh, wow. I did not know that. So, do you think this is going to hurt Nene's brand? Because I Googled it, right, to see it once you said it. And it hasn't made big news yet. It should be big news, but it hasn't made big news. So do you think this is going to be something that they're going to contain and they're not going to let it get widely known?
I think it's going to be contained. One, because it's not loud enough. And unfortunately, the attention span of the internet is short. And so if you want to get it done, if you want to affect change, you kind of got to come in loud, strong, get the people on your side. That hasn't happened. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. It just means that Kim Kardashian is dating Pete Davidson and he walking around with a hickey, so probably not.
And that's going to be the focus. And they do that just in time. Do you really believe that Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian are really dating, or is this all like to like keep her in the news and help his star rise?
I got a beach house in Antarctica that I could sell anybody that believes that this is real. I think this caught even Kris Jenner off guard. I think Astroworld was not planned. I don't think it was a media stunt. And I think they needed to deflect. And Kim Kardashian has always been the source of deflection. Khloe just doesn't keep media attention the way Kim does. Kylie doesn't. Kendall doesn't. And who Kim Kardashian dates Be the Harbinger said this is as real as Ariana Grande and Big Sean.
Oh, really? That wasn't real?
That was also as real as Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes.
So it was the same thing. So what was Ariana Grande and Big Sean, like, was it fake for Big Sean, like as a beard for Big Sean?
No, I think it was just media. Like, you know how they get all of those stars who have new albums and stuff, the record labels coming out, and then these two people have albums, make them a couple, get people buzzing, and it just works for everybody. I do think that Camila Cabello was Shawn Mendes' beard. And I think Kris Jenner just pulled out her oldest bag of tricks. I don't think she had nothing left to convince us or get us to not talk about Astroworld, and I think she pinned Kim Kardashian back on out.
Well, it's time for Astroworld. It's time for them to pay the price, suffer the consequences of that action. Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson. I think that's a huge mistake on the part of Pete Davidson and his career. And so yes. I really, I hate that for him. I think it's going to hurt him. I think he has a modicum of talent, and I think that he is jeopardizing that in this situation with Kim, whether it's real or not real.
For this 15 minutes of deflection, I don't think it's a great move. I don't think we've seen any men come out of the Kardashian camp better for being a part of the Kardashian camp, which is why I like that Van Jones seemed to get away from that rumor. But I also would have liked to see Kim lean into the Esquire side of it. If Kim is really, well, not if, she is for the people. She's getting people off. She's getting clemencies granted and all of these things. And I would just like to see her in that light and see her and more of her brain, and not the focus being on her body, if she got the BBLs out, if she got more BBLs, who she's dating. Like, let's just lean into this woman's brain for a minute, because she has.
So, but here's a question. This was brought up on my Monday night show on Facebook and YouTube. And this is the thing, Big Avell, this is what we talked about. Is it real? Is Kim Kardashian really doing this out of a benevolent place? Or is this all an attempt for people to, one, see her as a brain, to see her as a legal mind, and to see her as someone contributing in a positive way to the Black community because she has capitalized so much on the Black community? Is it real? Now, I'm not saying that what she's doing isn't a good thing. I don't care. I don't care about the motivations that Kim has. But I just want to know your opinion about, do you think it's real from a place of like goodness or a place of like building further her brand?
I think it's brand building. I would really love to say that I think it's from a good place. There's this creator on TikTok. She pointed something out about her now, the Kardashian camp now stepping away from Black culture a little bit. So now that we have got part ownership of Kanye's clothing brand, and now we're getting ready to ink deals with Balenciaga, and now we are, stepping into this Esquire lifestyle. They think, or her theory was that they're getting ready to step away from Black culture, and I think this is just something that helps us do this. There's an instant story there because of who her dad was. Like, it's not far-fetched, when you look at it from
it's not far-fetched. Well, they have to branch away from some of the things that would be considered cultural appropriation if they can. So we're gonna see, to what extent that they are able to do that. Do you think? Is there a Kardashian that has talent? Oh, I have the answer. Actually, I just thought of the answer.
I'm going to say it's Kendall. Are we talking strictly Kardashian or Kardashian Jenner camp?
In the whole family.
I would say Kylie. And I would say that it's a muscle developed. We have not gotten any cultural appropriation for her. She rides her line really well. There was that Pepsi faux pas, but she stays in her lane. And I think she's very talented for the lane that she stays in.
Okay, so you're saying that, and the one you're talking about, Kylie is the model.
No, Kylie is Kendall. I'm saying Kendall is the talent.
And she's the model.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think the model of them is my favorite one because she's the most authentic to me and being true to who she is. But I think the most talented one is Chris Houghton. Okay? The mother. Because she really did bring all of this to existence. She found a way. Her talent was strategy. Her talent was taking what she had, her daughters, and really building with them a brand that really is somewhat there's nothing like it. So I got to give Chris Houghton, Kardashian Jenner that credit. I'm
gonna take your credit and I'm gonna raise her because ma'am was a American Airlines flight attendant when she met Mr. Kardashian.
You lying.
So I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna raise it and say that yes, ma'am did that.
Because you say stuff I had no clue. So that she did for some people in the travel industry, that is a dream come true. That you're doing your job and you hit the big bucks.
You hit the big bucks. You end up married to Robert Kardashian. You take that, you build that for the brand that it is as just, the housewife and the kids, because they did it. The kids went to the schools and vacationing with Nicole Simpson. We did the thing. Then we leave him and sit behind
after you get the bag.
after you secure the bag and allegedly have an affair with O.J. Simpson and then come and sit behind him at the trial whilst married to Bruce. It has been one big get the bag from the beginning. It's all been a media stunt.
From the beginning. So I agree. Yeah, I think Chris is the one. So we got to give her that credit. You know, I honestly had no clue, did not know that background.
Sonia Norwood too. I think we leave Sonia Norwood out of the momager conversation, and we would not have the star Brandy that we have without her. We wouldn't have it.
What was her background though? Like, was she like an educated? Did she have to go to college? Because many times this is different. You can have someone like Kris Jenner who may not have had any formal training to be there, but life provided her opportunities and privilege to be there. But then you have someone like Sonia Norwood, well-educated, you know, who had been planning this, applying this, you know, but never had her own opportunities.
I don't know her educational background. I know they were in the church and she gave it the real Joe Jackson. She saw Brandy sing and was like, no, baby, we doing this. But
she looks amazing. And she's 70 years old now. So, dear God, be for me a Sonia Norwood's face, okay? Dear God,
do for me what you did for her in that season, Lord. Touch me too.
Do for me what you did for her, as, you know, I get better every day with age. And for those who are watching who may be wondering, who is this man with bigger veil? This man was her teacher. This man was her teacher. So
and
there's at least
one of the best.
There's at least 2 years of age difference between the two of us.
Only 2. He was the youngest teacher that I ever had. I was telling my husband Bash about the Black excellence that you and Mia Thompson served in the hallways of Eagles Landing, specifically.
And we're still good friends.
Please tell her I said hello.
I will. She's gonna be happy to hear that. Like, we are still friends. Texting out. She texts me every day.
No, y'all really set the standard. I don't know if that's what you guys intended to do, but you definitely set yourself apart from some of the other. Not that they weren't great teachers, Dr. Forrester, all of them, but
some good teachers.
The way that you guys dressed on a regular basis, the way that you guys so clearly kept yourselves away from the drama, like that. What you? Because I mean, like
just the nonsense that sometimes happens in a school,
right? But also while being the talk of the drama, because I don't know if you guys know or remember, but our Mr. Kirk and Miss Thompson dating was hot topic amongst the hallways. Okay,
like I don't know why.
We was talking about y'all.
You know, that's what happens. That's what happens in schools. That's what happens in schools. Now listen, so what's the next topic? What is your next reality TV?
I wanted to circle back. You touched on Wendy in the beginning when we opened about her situation and why we wish her all the best. But a conversation that's not happening is, why are we listening to Tommy? This is the same brother that she just feuded with publicly last season.
Yeah.
And then once her sword was bigger, Tommy came bowing down, and then all of a sudden they was best friends. And it was like, what? And now you're the spokesperson for getting us to believe that she doesn't have dementia. We don't believe you.
You think that Tommy? Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that this is
like dementia?
Yeah, I'm just looking in here and I'm seeing the commentary, and he is standing strong that it's not dementia, and it's in the media ran with it, and they're saying it's not because he said it wasn't, but that's not what the leaks are saying.
Who leaks, even out of a Wendy Williams camp, right? Even if you are in her camp working for her and you hate her with everything in you, what makes you say, I'm going to think of a lie let's call it dementia, because that's not something that was ever associated with her. You know what I mean? It's not.
It came out of nowhere. More than
just,
likely, this is someone from her camp who got paid to leak it, because that's how they make their money. You know, Wendy Williams' whole brand comes from the gossip industry and getting the scoop before other people get the scoop. And so vice versa could very well happen from her people selling the scoop to those same gossip industries to get money.
Kevin Hunter is a cheater, pumpkin eater. But we have to look at what Kevin Hunter contributed to the brand that is Wendy Williams. First of all, let's just go back to since he's left, since he was no longer part of management, and what her career has done.
That's such a beautiful, I never thought about that.
It was him, and he did wrong, and he didn't do right by her. And I mean, honestly, I don't really care about your bedroom issues. That don't got nothing to do with me. But as a manager, there is no Wendy Williams without Kevin Hunter, period. And like, as a longtime Wendy Williams fan, it pains me to really admit that, but it is honestly the truth.
Do you believe that Wendy had these issues and that he just managed them well?
Yes.
I do too.
I think Wendy is very, very much a loose cannon. I met her one time. Honestly, couldn't be far from the sweetest person, but it's very in the moment. It's very sporadic. I think about it, I'm Wendy Williams, so you say it. And I think Kevin was the one who was like, I don't give a damn what she say. That's not a good move for what we got going on. Or at the end of the day, like, come on, Wendy Williams comes on Fox. The parent network is Fox. Like, you know, Kevin Hunter was the one who was like, we got backers. We got people that we answer to. I know you feel big, but it's way bigger than you. And without him, I don't think that she had anybody else around that was strong enough to say, girl, sit down.
And that's going to, you know, really emphasize what she, like, you know, put down the coke. Or take care of yourself. Or stay motivated. Or whatever it took to get her going, that wasn't there anymore.
No, not at all. But how could it? Because like you said earlier, Wendy is so toxic and so mean to people. What real, I mean, you get 100% of the energy you put out.
It always comes back. It always comes back. But here's the thing that baffles me, Bigger Bell. This is that Wendy has always been like this, but yet she's always prospered. It wasn't until she messed with Tabitha Brown in that Sunshine season that everything went back, turned around. I mean, I'm just saying. All I know is
the Black God said, you don't mess with a Black woman. And of all the topics, Tabitha Brown should not be touched. She is to be protected at all costs. But of all the topics to insert your big mouth on, you came for that sexy, fine man of her husband.
When your husband ain't nothing right for you.
When your husband laying in somebody else's bed, wiping a baby's butt that he created while he was actually married to you and driving your Ferrari to her place. How is it that you have the space to even breathe on this topic?
But then he turned right around, but then she turned right around too, and then she mocked the death of that young TikTok star.
Yes, I forgot about that. I forgot. Yeah, no, I definitely.
So, you know, she had a lot of things that she sowed a lot of bad seeds in 2021 that may have come back to harvest way soon as well.
Tabitha Brown, that mouth is blessed. Her heart is blessed. Because let me tell you something. The day I retire my husband from the fire department, I dare now soul to come up, because won't none of this Southern Baptist come up out of it.
Well, you know, and I think that's so misogynistic, right? Because it's expected that men are going to allow the flexibility of their wives, if they so desire, to stay at home. Then why would it not be equally appropriate for a wife to do for her husband if it's a real partnership? And if we really aren't adhering to, you know, false 50-50 gender roles that really shouldn't exist in our person's home anyway.
And especially when your husband is a Black police officer. Like,
putting
it's
his life
not
in
like
jeopardy
she was
every day.
retiring him. Hello?
Every
Why
day.
would I not want to do that? It's not like she retired him from IBM, Silicon Valley. She retired him from being an actual police officer in 2021, nonetheless.
Yeah. So Mel RNYC said, last time I checked, Wendy Williams show was entertainment. And I know that it is entertaining for a lot of people, but it is also a talk show. Wendy Williams gives information that she presents as factual information. And so if Wendy Williams says something that is inaccurate, she is responsible for slander, libel, and every other legal ramifications for making false statements. So I don't see it as entertainment. I see it as a talk show that falls in the news variety. And she has the right to talk about and give her, she has the right to editorialize Tabitha Brown and the young TikTok star. She has that right, just like God has the right to have the final say. And maybe that's what's happening here.
And maybe and so, he said, stop talking about my children.
Right. And so also, Mel said the same thing y'all sitting there crucifying Wendy Williams for doing, y'all doing the same thing to her. I don't necessarily see it that way. Now, if I was saying maybe some things about Wendy Williams and her appearance, there are some things that Wendy Williams has done, things that she has said, and the way that she has attacked and thrown her shades and reads that I would never do because I serve a God that would not allow it. I don't want to be penalized.
And like you said,
I'm not here in this world. I want to live and have a good life. So I'm not going to go and do those little attacks. What we are saying is, factually, Wendy Williams addressed some topics and said some things that I don't think she should have said. And she inserted herself in things that were not necessarily accurate. And I think that perhaps she suffered the consequences of those actions because that's how karma works. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's very different because, again, if there's one thing to talk about facts, it's a fact that Wendy said some below the belt things. It's a fact that Wendy put out some bad energy. And so we are speaking on the facts. See, people have a really hard time talking about the beds that other people make and or laying in the beds that they made. I'm sorry if you're uncomfortable in your bed. I'm just pointing out that it's an uncomfortable bed. Whereas to say, oh, Wendy Williams deserved this and she brought this on because of such and such and such, that's something different. I think you deserve to reap what you sow. And if you ain't sowing good seeds, then that ain't on me. If I just walk by and say your farm look decrepit, then it look decrepit because your seeds is bad. A cat is a cat.
Mel makes a point about we should be talking about bringing awareness about her disease. I don't know her disease, right? Like I'm saying, the discussion is that she has dementia, not dementia. I don't know, but that's not my focus. It really isn't. Like that's not what I do in my content. That's just not what I do. So I'm not a medical content creator, not going to be a medical content creator. That's not my sphere of knowledge. And I do feel bad about anybody suffering. I do. I really do. But at the same time, this is a takeaway. If you want a takeaway, this is a takeaway. The takeaway is do good things in the world and be good to people so that you can be done good to in the world as well. That is the lesson. If I don't know anything else, I know karma is real.
Do good things, be good things, exude good things, and people will say then good things. There will be no negativity to talk about. Vision, direction, balance said she lights fires she can't extinguish. Or simply chooses not to. And she quite literally defames people. She will make up stuff at the drop of a dime. She'll be like, oh, that person's hair was curly because they got low porosity hair. Ma'am, we ain't never talked about this lady hair a day before in our life. How are you speaking to her porosity? Like, she just makes up stuff that just doesn't need to be said. An energy that doesn't need to be
and again, and full disclosure, I don't watch the show because in my market, it's on at the same time as The View, and I'm watching The View, and I watched today. Well, it was on TV today while I was like working in the background, and I saw Whoopi. Did you watch today?
I didn't watch today.
Whoopi had on, a pullover.
She be killing me with these pullovers.
But does Whoopi have the right just to wear whatever she wants to wear because she's Whoopi? Honestly,
Not
I'm
to this
serious.
extent. Not to this extent. Whoopi had the right when she was doing the crazy socks and she was giving us the socks with the clogs, and she was the first person with the platform Crocs. When she introduced her ugly sweater line all year round.
But now you think it's gone too far? Because she had like on a North Face hoodie of sorts.
No, she's trolling us now.
You think
Now I want her to stop. But like you said, COVID, at least, let me say this, COVID weight has taken its toll on everybody. And at least Whoopi said, oh, the weight is big, I'm going to put on a muumuu. Whereas Tyra Banks said, I'm big, but still dress me like I'm small.
So her clothes have been really tight. I didn't watch Dancing with the Stars either.
See, now we have to fight. No, just kidding.
I mean, was it a good show?
My daughter is a JoJo Siwa fan, and so just like integrating, being at that point where it's like I can't watch another cartoon, but we have to find some sort of semi-adult show that works. And as we were there at that impasse, they were like, JoJo Siwa's on the cast. I said, cool. This will be a Monday night thing. So me, Bash, and Dallas, we sit down, we watch Dancing with the Stars for JoJo Siwa, and then ended up liking.
I know JoJo Siwa won the show.
No, she did not. Iman Shumpert won.
Oh, JoJo didn't win?
No.
Who is Iman Shumpert? That's why I'm here, Big Avail. That's why I'm here, because I know a lot about news stuff. I'm learning about the pop culture stuff that I need to know about. Now, who is Iman Shumpert? He's a football player, right?
Shumpert, and he's a basketball player. So he got his chip. Yeah, they're all balls, like, and they be running. But no, he got his championship. He won his championship with LeBron when LeBron brought the ship back to Cleveland for the first time. He played for the Knicks. Wasn't he Vision Direction Balance? Wasn't he drafted to the Knicks? I believe he was drafted to the Knicks.
Okay.
And he's married to Tiana Taylor.
Oh yeah, they have like a show. Oh, yes. Okay. So people really like him. People really like him.
We love seeing a black dad. We love seeing that.
Yeah. Now here's a question: is he who should have won, or was JoJo better? Because I mean, that's what she's famous for, is dancing. Was JoJo robbed? Be honest.
I am not.
Okay.
JoJo should have not received some of the scores. It was the JoJo show. Okay, from the very beginning. So we know JoJo came out as part of the LGBTQIA community, and so for the first season ever in 30 seasons, she decided, or they allowed her to dance with a female partner. So it was for the first time ever the first same-sex partner. So a lot of this season was very much about her coming out and the history behind the same-sex couple. And I think for the sensitivity that is cancel culture, they gave her a lot of tins that she did not deserve.
Oh, she wasn't that good.
But but that's what I was about to say. But she was good. But there were a lot of tins that were given just because she was JoJo. But in that finale episode, baby worked, okay? She was picking up her dance partner and twirling her around and flinging her. They were doing flips and trips and dips. But there were a lot of nights where she got perfect scores and they were not perfect scores. When she nailed it, she nailed it. But
it seems like she had some karma too.
Now,
she didn't get it.
I hear behind the scenes, though, her and her camp are a little terror, so...
Oh, that she was a hard person to work with?
Yeah, she rolls with an entourage very much. I'm with JoJo Siwa, like it's a lot. So I hear. I don't know her personally, but
But do you think that is her fault or the fault of her mom and management?
I think definitely mom and management. She was in the game too early, and things became normalized at such an early age for her that it's impossible for her, just now being 18, for it to be her fault. Now she's an adult. Now she's 18. Things going forward I think
it's going
she's
to take some
responsible
time for her
for
to
it.
come into her own, and then for her to decide what it needs to look like for her and what the entourage really needs to be.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
What's next on your list? I like
So
news. I'm a politics gal.
now it's always a lot of politics happening now. But one thing that I also, wanted to talk to you about is one thing we talked about on my Monday night show was Chloe Bailey. That's her name, right? Chloe Bailey. This didn't come from me. I talked about Kyle Rittenhouse, but it came from one of my castmates, and he talked about Chloe Bailey and her overt sexual display, and to what extent. And the argument was, is this Chloe Bailey, or is this the industry trying to get her more attention? And that's the first question. Because I think they were talking about, maybe it was the American Music Awards. Is that what came on? And
yeah, definitely. Way too much. This is 130 million% Parkwood Entertainment. She's managed by Beyonce's management company. Beyonce learned how to be a manager from Matthew Knowles.
She's running the show the way the show was run.
Absolutely. This is 100%, 110% Parkwood Entertainment, because she's even done lives where she talks about, or she alleges that some of this overt sexuality is because she's getting in touch with her sensuality. She was always too big compared to her sister, and there's such a stark contrast in their looks, and that was always a thing because they're a group. And so she's trying to tell us that we're watching her come into her own. I am very much a leave things to the mystery type of gal. I think there are certain things about you only your partner should know and should be able to see. And I just think once you start moving your body in certain positions sometimes and wearing certain dresses with certain high cuts, it's like you giving away all the milk and ain't nobody even tried to purchase the cow. Like put some of that.
You're along the lines that this is more along the lines of her management company, maybe not so much her. This was my argument. Let's just pretend that this is what she wants to do. I hope I do agree with you, and that makes me sad because I know that's the industry. I want that to one day not be the industry. I want that to stop. I want it to be where our female artists don't have to be sexualized without their true desire to do so, and still be successful and still be able to sell records. And I think for some people, you have to do outrageous things to sell albums and to get attention because you don't have the talent to stand on your own. Or the talent has yet to come. I believe that Chloe Bailey is a great singer, and I think she has talent. I don't think she has to do some of the sexualization in order to be successful. Now, that's what I believe. But not everyone, I think, agrees.
But okay, let's keep it really real. She's not even a real dancer. She can understand and nail choreography. And I think that, for me, that plays part of the difference. Because we don't have these conversations when Tiana Taylor does it. Because it's so clearly art. We don't
and
have
it's real. It's real for her. It's who she is.
We don't have these conversations when Sierra does it, even as a married woman. We don't have these conversations. But when I can see you counting the steps, like it hits a little bit different. And it's sad because, like you said, she sounds it. She produces, she writes, she sings, she gives it. And it's just sad that a lot of our music comes from companies owned and ran by white men telling us what to do in spaces that they don't even occupy.
That is correct. So another thing that was really interesting was, I know we talked about, did you see, I didn't watch Saturday Night Live either, but there was obviously a musical performance where the artist did not dance well at all.
I missed that one.
I know. It's somebody we know is a famous
By,
I was
listen,
trying to
by
search.
Saturday night after my week is done, baby, at 11:30, I'm calling the hogs. Okay, I'm asleep.
Let me tell you who it was.
I can't. Someone said we started viewing Chloe Bailey
It
as
was
a little
Saweetie.
girl.
How do I say it? Saweetie? Salty? What's her name?
The door. The door.
Wait, but how do I say it?
Sweetie. It's just country sweetie. Her grandma called her that. Sweetie.
Her name is Sweetie, but it's spelled Saweetie. I mean, it's spelled Saweetie. So, Sweetie.
You sound like my mom. My mom
But that's
like,
how
so what? Because this combination makes this. So that don't make sense. I'd be like, Mom, just roll with it. I'm a roll. It doesn't follow no English rules, but show it to me.
So Sweetie had she obviously really, she may not be able to dance either. She did a really bad job. It was trending on Twitter about the dancing.
And now I gotta go look. But she did.
It's on YouTube.
She did a twerk TikTok one time. And so the BBL package that she got is stiff. So it don't move. When she move,
it's like my hair.
It don't move. Yeah, she got the Gorilla Glue package. So it just sits there. I think Sweetie is very, very talented. Her YouTube channel, hilarious, okay? The work that she puts in, the money management advice that she gives Black women. She's a UCLA graduate. She is an advocate for females and women of color, specifically going to
Sweetie has a YouTube? Yeah. I didn't know that.
Now that's Sweetie girl. She on the YouTube. Yeah.
That's Sweetie's. And she has a good YouTube?
And she's got a good YouTube. She talks about something that she learned from Mama Knowles. Mama Tina was that you are your makeup team and your glam team till you can really afford to have a makeup team and a glam team. So she's always putting females and young artists on about ways, especially independent artists, ways to save your money, ways to stretch your money. She's very vocal, about the things that I save this, all of the things that we want from the housewives, pretty much. She's an advocate, like I said, for education. She graduated from UCLA, but I am not a fan of her as a music artist. I think when she nails it in fashion, she nails it. I know Chanel opened the vault for Cardi. I think they opened the vault for her as well. They love her in the fashion and couture world, and I would like to see her stay there. I want her to stop singing to me and dancing in my direction. Like, I want that so deeply. I want that the way I want Will Smith and Jada to stop telling me about their marriage.
I kind of agree with that. She's a cute young lady. I have never paid her a lot of attention. I know she had that song 8 Figures. That's my type. My type. That's my type.
Of course, that's the one you know.
What else is there? Blow the whistle. Did she have some kind of version?
Yeah, she's got the my type. She's got the my whistle. She's icy because I'm icy. Hyphy. Haters want to fight me. Never been the type to put RP up on a white tee. I hate that I really knew that, honestly.
I see that she dated Quavo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just looking at her. So yeah, she must have good, but I'm gonna be honest with you. As I look at her and I think about those songs, nothing stands out to me as something that would have been worthy of like opening the vault. So she probably has really good people and really good management doing some really good work for her.
But look up her fashion pictures. Look up, like, Google her past music, because
she's very photogenic, very good model.
Very. But her mom was also a video vixen back in the day. I don't remember her name, but like she's a 90s it girl. So her mom was a video vixen. Oh, Back to the Streets. That was the song. Good job, Vision Direction. You coming in. So he said, Vision Direction Balance said, Chloe Bailey is the equivalent of B2K when they kept taking their pants off at the end of tour. It's like, we met y'all as kids. I don't want to see you grow up. Stop.
Well, and that's a good point. When you talk about, I met you, as a child, a kid, I don't want to see you without your clothes on. I really feel bad for Willow and Jaden and Trey as the conversations come out about the intimate moments shared between Will and Jada, or lack thereof, or the other. I don't think that anybody's children should know those things about their parents.
No, they absolutely should not. And this is, my husband and I talked about this, right? I see what they want to do, right? I feel like, or this is what it feels like. It feels like Will and Jada have acknowledged, oh, you guys consider us couples goals. Let us let you know that marriage is hard. Being with the same person for 15 years consecutive, I don't care what your grandmama and them did, okay? At some point, somebody gonna be like, you gave me that same move for the last 15 years. I want something different. You know what I mean? Or whatever it may be. And I feel like this was their version of letting us in on realism, but we're not their friends. You know what I mean? The media at Instagram Live, there's this direct content that also makes creators and stars feel like, oh, I have this rapport with my audience. No, you don't. You go tell Gabrielle Union and Dwayne Wade and them that marriage is hard, and you give your marital advice to them and to your mama who been married 4 times. You don't. The public wants you to be the couple's goals. That's what they pay for. That's what they want to see. Hate it for you. This is the Rome. Win in Rome.
That's right. That's right. I agree.
They tried to keep it too real.
They did, and I think they had we'll see to what extent it impacts the kids and where they go. We'll
but
see.
Also, all publicity is good publicity. So if for nothing else,
no, it's good for their career. Here's the thing: once you get to a certain economic status, I don't think that you need to do those things. Like Will and Jada should be good. Not only should they be good, but their whole entire lineage should be solid. Like they don't have to do these things to gain any more notoriety. They're doing this stuff because they want to do this stuff now. They're telling you about the things. This is what they want to do.
Let them listen. He want to jump off the Grand Canyon for his birthdays and film it, and I feel like that's what they should be showing us. Jada want to have this little talk show. That's what she need to be talking to other people. We don't need to know that Will Smith felt small compared to Tupac and all. You save that again for your friends. We ain't that.
That's right. We don't need to know any of that. So we are now at 11:19 on the East Coast. So Big Avail, I think that we are good. We gotta do this again to make this a regular weekly.
No, we gotta do this because you got your red chair. I got my red couch. It's giving very much we were meant to be.
We are meant to be. So we have got to do it again. So I just want to address my good friend just joined in. Jameek62 just said, fund the police. Jameek, you don't know me, bruh. I am all for funding every civil service that exists because they serve a function in American society. What I want to see as we fund the police is I want to see a reform of the American Justice Code, the laws, and law enforcement. I never said in any content I've ever created to defund anything. What I've always said and what I still stand behind and will always stand behind is to clean up and fix the justice system. Kyle is innocent. Cry about it, you say to me, Jameek. What I say back to you is Kyle Rittenhouse murdered 2 people, regardless of what the American justice system has said, okay? 2 lives have been lost, period. The point of it is, it was justified because the court system found him to be innocent or not guilty, not even innocent, but not guilty. Because of that, the system needs to be reformed, period, point blank. That's the whole point. So thank you so much for bringing that up. And you say that it was self-defense, Jameek62. I didn't watch the trial enough to be able to give you that insight because that was not the focus of my life or my day. I was dealing with other things in the world. But what I will say is there should never be a situation where a 17-year-old child can bring an assault rifle into any city and use it. That's the problem, and that's the issue. So if you really think about it, Jamaica, you don't even believe what you're saying yourself. So you go and pray about it, and I'm going to continue to be the epitome of Black excellence on TikTok. Have a good night. I love you, Big Avell.
I love you too. I'll talk to you later.